Episode 4015, Go with the Flow.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're having a fabulous weekend. It's amazing because we've got March Madness, and hopefully you don't have March Madness in your own household, in your own marriage. You don't want a March Madness marriage. Yeah, I know. Like all the M&Ms here to go. But know what? We're going to go with the flow. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com, where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter. The Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. Well, I hope you're not losing your voice because of March Madness. It has been a crazy few games. Did you watch it last night? I know there's more coming up, but it's pretty exciting. Yes, Duke went on. So if you have Duke number one still in your bracket, well, congratulations. I guess part of your bracket is still alive. But really what I want to talk about today is not about who's winning what game. I really want you to think about who's winning your own household. Are you winning as a couple or individually? Because in marriage, if you're always looking at what you're doing individually, your marriage is always going to kind of be on the rocks, honestly. You won't solidify it. It'll be like, I'm just going to stay on the rocks or the sand. I really don't want to get into concrete. I don't want to be that stable. That's something you do have to decide. And that's not for me to decide. It's up to you. And it's a personal commitment. But I'm going to tell you right now that if you want a marriage that can withstand any storm, any tsunami out there, even March Madness, you want to be able to communicate with each other. You want to be able to love each other in the wild ride, because marriage is a wild ride, right? No matter how many years you've been in it, you're always learning something new. You think you got it all figured out. You got your spouse nails. You're like, yes, I got this. But then life throws a curveball, like a change in circumstances or mood or priorities, right? All of a sudden it's like, I just don't feel like it. Maybe another day, right? You can blame it on, I don't feel good. I have a headache. You know where that's going, right? Oh, I just have this laryngitis that won't go away. Technically, I have something with my voice, but it is getting better, as you can tell. But the automatic reaction might be to resist, argue, or complain, whine, have an adult temper tantrum. But I want you to think about this. Real strength lies in learning how to go with the flow. It's easier said than done, right? When you have marriage and two people are joined together, it's the joining of two very different people, each with their own views on how life should go. And that's a recipe for tension. It's going to happen. I don't care how on board, how alike, how whatever it is. It could be your long lost friend that you've been married to from the very beginning, and you're still living like you're in high school. Be real. You've had those moments. I have those moments. And sometimes it's fun to pretend, to kind of go down that memory lane, and you know when you can poke at your spouse. But a lot of times it's not good, right? Because again, a little friction is normal. It's healthy. It sparks growth. It keeps things interesting. But too much friction is a burnout waiting to happen. And that's usually what happens in marriage, is that you just keep pushing and pushing because you're like, oh, I pushed this far. Maybe if I go a little bit more, I get more what I want. Wait, if I just yell a little bit louder, I'll get more of what I want, or whatever happens in the privacy of your own four walls. And then when you have this friction, you're like, why are we even together? Why am I in this relationship? Doesn't matter how many years have gone by. You've got people who will divorce days into their marriage and decades into their marriage. I want you to go till death do us part in your marriage. Seriously. I believe you can do that. But going with the flow is something you're going to have to master. And it doesn't mean giving up or becoming a pushover. That doesn't mean that you're somebody's mat that you get to be walked all over. It's a mindset shift. It's how you see things. It's putting your spouse first in the appropriate manner, right? It's about embracing change as part of your shared journey. Not, it's all about me. No, it's about us together and choosing harmony over constant conflict. Go with the flow. That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. You got to be willing to go with it, because if not, you're going to drown. You will. And that drowning will lead to separation, divorce, or you do some other weird things that are happening out there in the world. But we'll just leave that one for a totally different episode, because it's just not going to come into this one. So what happens in your household when something unexpected happens? Have you thought about it? Probably not. Or maybe you're in the middle of it right now. Do you both get all bent out of shape and become defensive about the situation? It's like, guards up. You're not going to say anything I don't approve of. Nope. Now, of course, you're not talking that way, but it's your tone of voice, your body language, the words, the phrases. Or are you more reasonable to work with and calm to figure it out together? Well, I don't know how we're going to get through this, babe, but I know we can do it. We can do it together. Honestly, most of us are everything in between. Those are kind of your outskirts. Very rarely does the simplest of thoughts and actions occur. And you could chalk it up that, being the unexpected part of life is what's really getting in the way. And you're like, well, it is what it is. We just have to deal with it. Okay, even that attitude can have some pushback from your spouse. So what does it look like in real life to go with the flow? How do you handle change? How do you handle change where you can communicate together in harmony? Not this thing of like, okay, I know this is my territory. And yeah, some people, they have their quote unquote territory, right? Maybe you're really good in the financial aspect of things in your marriage. Maybe you're really good at, raising the kids, okay, whatever it is, or training your dog. No, that I didn't think and put those in the same, by the way. Don't send me those hate emails. I'm just saying. But whatever it is, right, you may be a master of that, but that doesn't mean you have to show up like, I got all this all by myself. You still got to discuss it. You got to be in the game to win it together. You're better together. And if always only one person is coming to the table all the time and making all the decisions, or the majority of them, how does that make the other spouse feel? Well, if you're that other spouse, you know what you're feeling. But if you're the spouse who's making all the decisions, you're like, well, it's just easier that way. Is it? It's easier until that tsunami comes, right? You don't want that. So what does it look like in real life? Number one, shift focus from being right to being connected. Often tension arises because both partners are locked into their own point of view. I see it this way. I see it this way. No, I want it this way. No, I should think we should have it this way. So instead of doubling down on winning the argument, which guilty is charged, we all do it, own it, it's okay. Lean into curiosity. Say, oh, all right. Ask yourself, what is my spouse really feeling here? What's underneath their reaction? Why are they all bent out of shape, right? When you prioritize connection over being right, you open the door for empathy. And that creates space for compromise and understanding. Those are the ingredients that smooth the flow of your relationship. Smooth as peanut butter and jelly. It just, delicious. You fit together right. But you have to be willing to shift your focus of, I'm correct and you're wrong. Oh, wait, it doesn't matter if I'm correct. It matters that we're connected. That's what I want, babe. Totally different. Now, you could always speak into it from, well, this is my point of view because in my financial world or whatever it is that you're the expert as, I get that. And you lean on each other for that. But that doesn't mean you discard what the other person is saying. That's disrespectful. And that's not honoring your spouse, male or female. Got it? Yeah. Seriously, because we have a lot of that. You just look on social media and I'm thinking, seriously, we don't even know what the word honor means anymore or to cherish. Did you read your vows? Maybe you should go back and look at your vows and say, am I really leading my marriage, what I can do with these vows in mind? Because a lot of us, honestly, we forgot them. Unless if they're more traditional and you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. So I can kind of think of it or I can Google it. But if you wrote your own, then go back and review them. I mean, even if you have to get out that VHS tape, I'm just saying. I know you're like, what? Okay, we'll leave that one too for another episode. Number 2, practice flexibility and recognize what's worth holding on to. And you're like, flexibility? This is not fitness here. No, it is. It's fitness for the heart. My friend, flexibility isn't a weakness. It's a strength wrapped in adaptability. Sometimes plans change. And I know in our family, with 7 of us, when you got 5 kiddos, plans change always. There's not a time that it doesn't change. In fact, if it doesn't change, I'm like, something's going to go wrong. I just know it is because it's not changing. And sure enough, it doesn't necessarily go wrong, but it just feels like, and it's okay. And let me tell you, it works well. My kids have learned to be very adaptable. They're good at new situations. They don't always like it. But again, you don't have to like something in order to be good at it, okay? Keep that in mind. You may not like being flexible, but you can become good at being flexible. So it's all right when plans change, when your moods shift and priorities evolve. Practice saying, okay, let's try it your way this time without seeing it as a loss. Imagine that. Your spouse would fall over. I know I've tried it a few times on my husband. When I say, wait, okay, we'll try it your way. Or I like your idea. Or let's go with what you just said. He's like, what? I'm like, well, yeah. And it's not about, well, let's see if his way is actually going to work. And if not, that means I get to make fun of him and pick on him and drag him through the mud. No, that's not it at all. I'm saying, let's go with it. I sincerely believe that it makes sense. So let's do it. You don't always have to be the one that's figuring it all out. And sometimes it's better if you're not. Practice flexibility. Share your wins. Do you really have to be the one that does everything? No, you don't. Let somebody else be in the marriage. There is a 2, right? It takes 2 to be we, right? Otherwise, it's just me. You get it. But again, flexibility doesn't mean losing your identity or your values. Some people say, I can't do this because I'm not going to be who I am. I'm not going to be who God created me to be. That's not true. I don't lose any part of my identity by letting my husband have a say. Now, I can be the bully wife, but do I really want to be that? Do you really want to be that? Now, I will say this, though. There might be a couple exceptions to that rule, okay? And sometimes it is, and you have to put your foot down. I get it. But that doesn't mean that that's the norm. And I'm talking about the norm here. Know where your non-negotiables lie and stand firm there. Where does it cross the line? Otherwise, allow yourself to be in flow, to be in rhythm. Because when you're in flow, it's about navigating change gracefully, not being a leaf blown randomly by every gust. I was just driving yesterday. Oh my goodness, the wind. I don't know what was going on. Well, I do know what was going on. We had a cold front coming in. So we were at almost 90 degrees. Crazy, I tell you, crazy. And now we're going to be in the high 30s, low 40s. Like, no. Now that's our low, by the way. That's not our high. That's our low. But even our high is not going to be much above mid 60s. Really? We're talking about a 25 to 30 degree difference? Crazy. Right? Talking about learning to be flexible. We think about it in weather, right? But what about in your marriage, right? When you are going through life and navigating, right? You're driving. There's going to be times where you're just sailing. It's awesome. It feels good. But then when you have those storms coming through, the storm fronts are about to hit, and it's like you got a leaf that's blowing all over the place. In fact, you as a vehicle is blowing all over the place. And you're like, I can't stay in my lane with every gust. Same type of thing. You got to navigate it gracefully and say, you know what? I can go with the flow. Don't know what it always looks like, but you know what? It's okay. I'm going to be flexible. We can adapt to whatever we need to adapt to. That's called real life. And I know a lot of us, and don't tell any of the guys. If you're listening and you have testosterone, as in you're a man, just close your ears right now. Men are always right. Now, they will say women are always right. They need to learn, yes, dear, but that's for another episode. That's a secret. If they learn that secret, life would be easier. But for the women, your superpower is flexibility. Okay, number one, you can do it better than they can. Don't tell them I told you that. Why? Because you are female. And women have it built in within themselves. It's in the genes that we can be more flexible. Why? Think about those, even if you don't have kids. When you have children, you got to be flexible. I'm not saying because you're going to deliver them. I'm saying because you're going to raise them, right? If you're a teacher, a mentor, it doesn't matter. I'm not talking biologically. I'm saying if you have kids around you, you've got to learn to be flexible because change is a constant 1,000%, hands down. And so if you can use this, it will be your superpower in your marriage. Okay, now, if you're a man and you heard that, I didn't tell you. But it's true, okay? And let your woman have that superpower. It's all right. It's important in a relationship. You each have your own superpowers. But women, you are good at that. Okay, and finally, number 3, choose peace daily, even when you don't feel like it. Going with the flow is a practice that sometimes requires conscious effort. So when irritation flares, and it's going to, what are you supposed to do? You already know what I'm going to say. Yeah, breathe. Take a breath in. And as you're breathing, remind yourself, is this really worth sparking a fight over? Like, do we really need to get into this now? Often the answer is going to be, no. So why are you even thinking about going after the jugular? Seriously. Because that's what happens. It's like, well, I'm going to be right at this one. Now, you're not saying that out loud, but you go in with it and you're like, here I come. I'm going to bulldoze over everybody, the dog, the dishes I didn't finish, the laundry piles, and I'm going after them. And I'm going to win this battle. No, you're not. It's not worth that. Majority of the time, it's not worth it. So instead, commit to peace. And that means choosing calm over chaos, patience over frustration, love over ego. And guess what? You choose it every single day. Yeah, it's a conscious choice every single day. It just doesn't happen. That's why they say marriage is work. It's a full-time job if you're going to do it right. And that means when you're present and your spouse is there, be present. Listen, understand. Okay, I'm going to share a story here. Hopefully, my husband won't listen. But if he does, that's okay. He'll be like, yeah, I know. That's how it goes down. Well, my husband enjoys going to dinner. And very rarely did we, I should say, go to dinner when our kids were younger. We spent a lot of time with our babies. And that's great. I wouldn't change that for anything. And we would only go out for special occasions, usually wrapped up in his job or with the church or whatever. And that can be good and bad, okay? Hear me out. It can be good and bad. But now we're older. Our kids are older. So long as the grandbabies, our little minis, are not around, then we have a lot more freedom. We don't have to be there. They can fend for themselves, as in our children, our 5. And they know what they need to do. If they want to eat something, they'll go figure it out, whatever it is. I don't have to be there to cook dinner, even if I'm there to cook dinner. And so my husband would be like, well, you want to go out? And I'm like, really tired, honestly. Like, I'm just really tired and I don't want to go out. But for whatever reason, he really does. And he just thinks that going out is spending time with me. And I'm like, yes, but I'm one who's like, every once in a while, I would just really like to spend time. We sit on the couch and we just talk. We hang out together. Like, that would be great for me. But you know what? For him, he likes going out to eat once in a while. We don't do it all the time because honestly, I'm a really good cook. Seriously, he tells me that. And I believe him. And I am. And it's not just him telling me because he loves me. I am a very good cook. And I can cook a mean steak. I can cook a mean a lot of things. And so therefore, why go out and spend unnecessary money when I can cook 5 meals to the one cost of our, one meal together? So, but at times though, I will give in and I'll be like, yep, let's go out. Even though I'm tired, exhausted, I would much rather just sit on the couch. But I go out. Why? Because he wants to do it once in a while. And let me just clue you in on this, women, if you're listening. Your man sometimes likes to take you out because he wants to show you off. Not in a, oh, look who I have as a trophy wife, as in, I love this woman and I want people to know that she's mine. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, done in the right way, by the way. I mean, you can get a little wacky, but we're not going to go down that road today, okay? Not in this episode. So sometimes it's okay to say, you know what? This is where I am going to give a little bit. That doesn't mean I'm giving any part of myself up. That doesn't mean I'm less than because I'm like, yeah, I'm doing something I don't really necessarily want to do, but I'm giving something to him, which in return gives back to me because my husband's smiling. We're having a great time. Am I tired? Yeah. But is it really that big of a deal? No. So maybe you need to look at choosing peace a little bit differently and how you approach it. Because that consistency builds this reservoir of goodwill that carries you through rough patches. Just like it does, like I've mentioned before, filling your bank account, not with real money, but money that fills the love account. And when that goes overboard, when you have rough patches, then you've got some time to make some withdrawals. But if that love account, I love you unconditionally account, is close to zero, or you've been withdrawn from it for a while now, you're going to have some struggles. And maybe a few of those struggles are popping up in your mind now. How could you look at what we just talked about and change that a little bit? I know you can, because I've done the hard work in looking at it and saying, gosh, I remember when, and if I would have applied this, it may have made a difference. Now, you can't go back in time. So this is not about beating yourself up, but it's reflecting as saying, okay, this is what I can do and what I can do now and what I can do well. Because marriage isn't this smooth crystal stream. It's a river with bends and rapids and quiet pools. And when you learn how to go with the flow, you don't just survive the current, you ride it together. Stronger, more connected on the other side. That's what you want. So the next time something happens, something unexpected, a change, an out of the blue event, resist the urge to push against it. Just go with the flow. Let it flow around you, carry you both forward, and deepen the bond that makes your marriage worth everything. Because you're willing to say, you know what? I love my spouse more because we're together in this. This isn't about you're better or I'm better. It's about we're better together. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day and enjoy March Madness. Come on, who are you rooting for? We know Duke's going to be in. We've got who else coming in? Michigan? Who else? You name them. We'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.